5 started yet, I just wanted to get it.
Well, I am gonna go ahead and start the other ones.
It's finishing happy.
What?
I can't get used to the firing floor like this now.
So the only way that will be taxing is that that's going to follow it towards the ones. We'll have to roll it all separately for each of the first down. And we've got 2 sets of things. Just comes up after.
Do you need one of those committee reports for mentioning the stop signs? One of those papers for just talking about the stop signs?
If you're just gonna comment that they're just leave it.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
From clear to the edge of town. Yep, just got 3 minutes.
Except the one on the side, yeah.
That didn't help much either.
Now you'll be able to see your message.
Yeah. Maybe. I can see my grandchildren. That's more important anyway. What?
That's what they're looking for too.
Are you? I hope I got a while for that. Riley's just not 16 yet, so
Hello. How are you?
what's that?
Good.
Yeah,
We got like 1 more minute before we start. You're not washing dishes, are you? If you want to mute yourself, please.
That'll settle fast.
oh, sleepy.
Here's 3 minutes of it. All right, let's call Call the meeting to order. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for granting us the privilege to meet tonight. We ask for your blessing, wisdom, and guidance as we conduct the business of the village. Amen. Amen. Roll call. Cheney?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Powell is absent. Percy is absent. Fisher?
Yes.
Wheeler?
I need a motion to excuse absent members.
Motion to excuse Brittany Howell and Jason.
We
You
want
want
to
it on?
second, we can do separate, please. Yes.
All right.
So you're doing Brittany first? is that what
Yeah.
you're doing? Okay, thank you. Cheney?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Powell? Sorry, she's not here. Fisher?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to excuse Jason Hershey.
Second.
Fisher?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yep.
Howard?
Yes.
Cheney?
Yes.
All right, we need a motion to approve the minutes from the July 22nd, 2024 regular meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from the July 22nd, 2024 regular meeting.
Second.
Wheeler?
Yep.
Cheney?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the August 5th, 2024 special meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes of the August 5th, 2024 special meeting.
Second.
Fisher?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yep.
Howard?
Yes.
Cheney?
Yes.
Right, I have no correspondence, but we do have two guests. We'd like to welcome Kyler Brickles, and we have someone from the American Red Cross here to talk about blood drives. Chris, would you like to tell us what you're, not Kyler, would you like to?
Me?
Yep.
Oh.
Would you like to tell us about your blood drives? And
Yeah.
We let guests go first.
Oh, okay, cool. My name's Brian Williams. I work for the American Red Cross, a little background. I was born and raised in Byfield, Cambridge area. I still live in the Cambridge area, so kind of a local boy. Been with the Red Cross a little over 6.5 years. And I'm the account manager for the Blood Services Division. And basically, my job entails recruiting, managing, growing, and sustaining blood drives in my territory. I cover mostly Guernsey and Muskingum County, but we recently switched from county lines to zip codes, so it's kind of murky on that front. I had West Lafayette before, but also had Coshocton and Cumberstown. I lost those, but I still have West Lafayette. And now I'm over to Zanesville. It's a whole thing, but yeah, we've only been doing this for a few months, so I'm still learning the territory, but this area I'm pretty familiar with. Little background with our blood drives. I think I started one 2020, 2021, right around there. Gwen from Kirk Street Event Center actually approached us about holding blood drives at her facility over there. She was a great supporter for us, and we started having blood drives there. I think we went every 3 months. We usually did about 20 to 25 units on average, which for this area is just fine. Good solid drive. So the downside of it was with the space. I really couldn't grow the drive because we could only fit so many beds in there. I don't know if you've ever been to a blood drive, but we take up quite a bit of space with our beds and our equipment and the waiting area and the snack area. And so really couldn't grow the drive there, but we were fine there. And then Gwen moved on. So I was looking for another location. We ended up going out to the First Baptist Church. And at that time, I didn't realize that that was not the greatest location based on some local feelings or what have you, which I wasn't tied into until after the fact. So we didn't do well there at all. I think I had 2, maybe 3 drives there, and I think we did like 10, 11, which is just not sustainable. I mean, our equipment comes from Columbus. So I'm the furthest out than almost any other account manager in our territory. So I have the most expensive blood drives. So on top of that, then I have to justify, okay, why are we spending all this? You know, we just can't do it 10 units. We're losing money doing that. So stopped going there, and it's kind of been just in a status quo for that. Jackie approached me again. Jackie's my manager, and she said, "What's going on with West Lafayette?" And I said, "Nothing." So First Baptist was a complete disaster, and don't know really what to do. So she got in contact with Jesse and approached her about what we could do to bring blood drives back here and to have them be successful again. So the two things that I'm looking for, one is location. And Jackie mentioned that First United Methodist Church might be a possibility. I'm not sure where that was at.
It's close to the school, so.
Oh, okay, so you're already with it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So for a location here, I've never been there, so I don't know, if it is big enough. I mean, there's a lot of requirements for a room for us. It has to be a certain size, usually a minimum of like 12 to 1,500 square feet. It has to be well lit, it has to have restrooms, it has to be air conditioning, it has to be heated. There has to be easy access in and out. So certain things like that. Cannot be stairs, steps. We can't do that because the equipment they bring in is all in carts, it's all rolled in. So they can't do the steps. We can do elevators, but even that's kind of a pain because it's just so time consuming up and down. So kind of that's what we're looking for. And then I'm also needing someone that will be behind the blood drives. I'd like just to make it a community blood drive. West Lafayette Community Blood Drive would be ideal for me. That way, everybody feels like they can be part of it. But we need somebody behind it to drive it, to support it, to recruit the donors, put their name to it, and really take ownership of it. That's the only way a blood drive consistently could be successful. You can't just hang flyers out at the local stores and think that 40 people are going to show up for a blood drive. It just doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, I wish it was that easy. My job would be a lot easier. But it takes recruiting, it takes advertising, it takes the face-to-face asks, it takes giving people information how they can sign up, where to go, and different things like that. So those are kind of the two things why I'm here, to try to get those started rolling. Because I really like to come back here. It's a great area. It's a great little town. Reminds me a lot of Bison where I grew up. And I know we could be successful because we did it at Kirk Street. Like I said, 20-25. And sometimes we did a little less, sometimes a little more. But that was about the average, and that's fine. That's a good solid blood drive for me. And that's really, but in order to get that 20 to 25 units collected, you're going to need 30 to 35 people to come. And the main reason for that is because you're going to have deferrals. And deferrals are usually tied to things such as health history, antibiotics, hemoglobin, blood pressure, pulse, recent surgery, upcoming surgery, health conditions, blood thinners, all these things. You can come to donate blood with all good intentions, but unfortunately it's not safe for you to donate, or it's not safe for us to take your blood to use it, then we can't allow you to donate. So we allow a good 10% usually will be deferred from being able to donate. And then once you're actually on the bed and you're donating, you have to make sure that also we get the full unit that we need to collect. Sometimes people, their blood clots are easy, or just wasn't a good stick or something like that. We don't even get a full unit. So we can't use that unit for a blood recipient, but we can use it for testing. It's not like we just throw it out in the trash on the way up to Columbus. We can still use it, but it just doesn't count because we get to the blood bank and things like that. As far as the blood we use, most of it is kept local. And what I mean by kept local is we have contracts with local hospitals. We have a contract with Ohio Health, Southeastern Med. I'm still getting used to saying that. I still want to call it Gertrude Memorial. Genesis, Coshocton, pretty much any large hospital in the area we have a contract with. And what those contracts entail is basically we agree ahead of time, usually it's a 3 to 4 year contract, and we say, okay, we're going to supply you this much blood of these blood types every month for you to have in your hospital on hand for your needs at this hospital. And then they agree to buy it from us. So those are the first things, the words that we feel first. Those are, number one on the list. Now, of course, times we do have extra or something like that, or we might have a super rare blood type or something like that. We also are part of the National Blood Bank. The National Blood Bank is from coast to coast. So if you have a young child that needs this rare blood disorder and he needs a certain kind of blood, they can check the national database and go in there and they can actually have the blood, flow from Ohio to, Oregon or wherever. So we also do that too. And we're largely, like I mentioned before, we're also largely invested into testing blood and also trying to advance, make the things easier, make it safer, make it more inclusive. But all of our regulations are set by the FDA. We don't set our rules, we follow the FDA rules. So they are one that say, okay, this is what you have to do, and then we follow that. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So, any questions?
Give contact information, so we find
Yes,
a
I have my
location.
card. Actually, I'll email it to everybody. This has got my work phone, my email on it. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. I work out of my house, so unless I'm somewhere else, like either blood drive, or almost at a meeting or something like that. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Time frame, as soon as possible. The first step would be finding a location. And then I would actually do what we do, a site survey where I go and actually hands-on look at it, make notes. Sometimes I need to take pictures of it if they, but I've done this job long enough, usually I can walk into a room a couple minutes and say, this is a word for it, this is, I'm gonna do it. So, but I need to see it actually, and then once we get a location, just setting up some dates. And like I said, I'm getting somebody that's going to say, okay, we're taking care of the blood drive, it's ours. We're going to recruit, we're going to advertise, we're going to get everybody involved, we're going to let people know. I do have blood drives at the high school, Ridgewood. They go 4 times a year. They do really well for the size of their school. Barbara Bond, the nurse out there, is a strong supporter, a great ally for me, and that's very involved with it. She does a great job for me, but that's high school, and plus they are not open to the public. They don't want, the principal has never wanted the public to come in, for safety reasons. And some schools do, some schools don't, they never have, which that's fine. But I don't want, what are we doing with the high school? Why do you do another one? Well, it's only high school kids and then teachers. And that's only, 7 or 8 months out of the year. That are actually holding drives too, with some great food on. So.
Well, thank you for coming, we
Hey,
appreciate
no
it.
problem. Thank you, appreciate you having me. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
No.
All right, moving on to department reports.
No.
Fire.
Good evening, everybody. See, July 2024, since we actually got to rate this one. 10 calls, 1 grass fire, 3 accidents with injury, power line down, RV equipment, smoke or odor removal, 2 new incidents found, and 1 citizen's complaint. Fire loss for July was 0, year to date we're 142,610. 3 calls in the village, 2 in Lafayette Township, 4 in Oxford, and 1 in London. 76 firefighters responded for a total of 34.85 hours on calls. Meetings, vehicle training, at 119 firefighters for 152.85 hours. Payroll for July was $684. 0 training last month due to homecoming and getting everything ready for it. So total for the year, we're at $13,038. I have an ordinance to pass tonight. We have a then and now purchase order. It is for our active 911 radio system. We have an app on our phones called Active 911. When we're dispatched, it goes off on our phone, gives us directions to the scene, what it is, everything going on. When we were at FDIC this year in April, Active 911 rolled out a thing called Active Comms. So not only do I get the text and directions, I can now use this phone as a $7,000 radio. So all the officers have the ability to open up their Active 911, and then there's a bridge at the fire station. We can talk through that radio bridge on our phones, and it just goes over marks through our phones. The officer's the only one who can talk. All the firefighters can open up and listen. So if they don't have a pager with them, you know where they're at. When that Active 911 comes through, they open that app up, they can hear everybody talking. So,
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And actually, the Active 911 was $15 a year per person. The Active Comms is $60 a person. So for $1,588 a year, bridge and everything else, we all basically have a radio cell phone instead of $7,000 a piece for radio. Works out really well. All right, anything else?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you much.
Fiscal officer.
Legislation that we have on the table tonight. First, we have ordinance 2024-27, and that will receive its third and final reading tonight, and that is to vacate an alley between Timmons and Howell residents. Next on the list is resolution 2024-31, and that is to add funds. Tammy had applied for a grant with BWC in the amount of just under $5,100 and to purchase a manhole cover lift, right? Is that right? Okay, and attachments to go with that. So the cost of that was just under $7,000, and the grant received was roughly $5,100. So we need to add funds to appropriate that $5,100 so that we can make that purchase. Next on the list is resolution 2024-33, and that's the one that Chief Gould spoke to for the now purchase order for Active 911. That'll receive its first reading this evening. And last one on the list is resolution 2024-34. We had last week our budget commission meeting, and then I also received paperwork in the mail from the county auditor's office letting us know what our amounts and rates were going to be for property tax monies that we would receive in 2025. And we need to approve and certify those amounts back to the auditor by October 1st. So that resolution will receive its first reading this evening. The amounts that were given to go into the general fund for the inside millage, which is within the 10 mills, we will be receiving, yeah, that's right, $53,764 into the general fund. And then we have two levies out there that also pertain to the property taxes. So one of them goes into the general fund, and the other one goes into a police levy fund that covers police department wages. So there's an amount estimated of $68,567 that'll go into the general fund for general expenses, and $47,090 that will go into the police levy fund to cover police wages. Again, I'm going to receive its first reading tonight. We had a finance meeting this evening, presented the July end of month cash summary, and I think at this point, since Brittany's not here this evening to report on the finance committee, if I could ask for a motion to approve the July end of month cash summary. I appreciate that.
Motion to approve July end of month cash summary.
Second.
Bauer,
Yes.
Cheney,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yep.
Okay. We also talked about, I've been having conversations with a gentleman in regards to quotes for health insurance coverage for the employees. The village is part of a group called the Ohio Municipal League, and they are rolling out, they're offering group health insurance to any members of the Ohio Municipal League, which we are a part of. So I have a phone call coming up Wednesday morning to talk about possible savings for our health coverage for the employees. And just from the email correspondence back and forth, he indicated that he would be able to save the village quite a bit of money, plus give the employees better coverage from what we have right now. So I'll report more on that once I have that meeting with him, but just want to make you aware that kind of a conversation. And let's see. One last thing I wanted to mention also is that we've been working for several months now on our new village website, and that has finally been launched. So as of this past Friday, that is public. Still has the same web address, so www.westlafayettevillage.com. And we're encouraging everybody to go there. You can subscribe to any village alerts, recent news by text or email. You can get that there. It's up there. Yep, she's got that up there. So at the very top of the page there, you can click on that link and you can subscribe to any of those notifications. So we're super excited about that. If anybody has any feedback on other things that you'd like to see on there, we do still have a working list of items that we're wanting to include, pictures and, just more information about
Frequently asked questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, FAQs and I think of anything else major that we're wanting to add in there right now, but so any other suggestions? We're definitely, that's working. That in there. Yeah, it's working now. Yep. Other than that, those have been passed around for approval.
All right, please.
For July 2024 monthly activity report, we had 593 calls for service, 13 reports taken, 0 felony arrests, 8 misdemeanor arrests, 0 juvenile arrests, 23 traffic stops, 1 crash, 2 OVI arrests, 1 warrant arrest, 6 civil paper services. The total amount of fuel used was $985.74. Questions?
Thank you. We have our solicitor on the phone. Joel, do you have anything to report tonight?
No, are we still planning to do executive session tonight though?
Yes, at the end.
Okay.
Thank you. Village administrator?
Yes, good evening. I want to discuss, I gotta find it, I'm sorry, there we go. Citations that went out, first were reminder notices about tree trimming. 300 and 600 blocks of King Street, 100 block of Platt. We had also citations issued, 301 East 7, 535 North George, and 545 North George, and 553 North George. Those are for unsightly, unsanitary, and dilapidated structure. Weed and grass notices are kind of long. Weeds and grass are to be kept and maintained below 7 inches in height. 100 block of Russell, 100 block of Main, East and West Main, North Kirk, 100 block, 200 block of East Main, 300 block of East Railroad for weeds and tall grass. Most of them have been resolved. They have 5 days within notice to bring them to trim the weeds. Most of them have been resolved and people have been very cooperative, and contacting me, so thank you everyone for that. We had the new solar powered LED stop signs are up at the intersection of Main and Kirk Street. And then today the pedestrian crossing signs went up at the intersection of Railroad and Kirk, and the intersection of Plainfield Road and 6th Street. And then also we have another special thank you to the Coshocton Foundation for the generous grant to help purchase those. They donated the majority of the money for those.
And you can see them from almost clear out of town.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And yeah, they're nice, very bright, If you can't see them, then,
Shane down the road.
yeah. I have, our storm and sanitary sewer outfall project is going to be advertised for rebidding this Thursday, August 15th and August 22nd. And then the bids will be due by 10:45 on September 6th, and they will be read at 11 a.m. that day. Here's our wastewater, plant report for July, things that they've been working on. They assisted with finding vendor and supplier for installing new pumps and control panel at the school, the high school lift station. They again inspected Pearl lift station to find, seeing how the treatment was going and looking at the buildup on the pipes. There was a little bit, they found an eighth of an inch, we discussed that earlier. We will be back there in September to look at them again. They've been maintaining their pumps at Fresno lift station. They had cleaned out their sand filter down at the plant, replaced with 54 tons of new sand. I believe McAllen did that for them. Their septic revenue for July is $2,154, and to date, they've raised $22,000 in receiving bulk septage. The lift stations were cleaned and power washed. They even included pictures of those for me. And they cleaned the headworks of the plant. Zembo is here to do that. Check their calibration of the partial flume with where the water flows in, wastewater flows in. We are looking at getting a storm sewer replaced on Main and Ripple where we have a sanitary line. He assisted with that. There's no issues to report in the main lines right now, he says, and no update on treating landfill leachate. We talked about that, I believe, at the last meeting. There's no movement on that yet, so that was going to be another input of major septage for us possibly, but as of now, we don't have anything coming. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to committee reports, building and property.
We talked about Ed Chapter Lane's property here on Railroad Street, weeds. And he's getting somebody to take care of trimming them, get them cut down pretty good. So, and then we talked about 620 East 4th Street, 523 East 5th, 429 East 5th Street. There was complaints and stuff like that from the neighbors. Somebody had landscape timbers down on the property line and they couldn't mow on one of them. And get that taken care of.
All right, community and business development.
We discussed, kind of kicking around an idea about some food trucks coming in for events. The small business packets are ready for approval. And the Mint Ivy building, they're working on getting that remodeled and a liquor license, and that's all.
We need a roll call for that building.
Ready to go.
I would like a roll call vote to start using that.
I make a motion that we start using our, small business packet for any and all upcoming businesses.
Fisher,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yep.
Cheney.
Yes.
All right, community relations. Which Brittany's not here, but we kind of talked about homecoming was a pretty big success this year. The yellow flag days are September 6th and 7th. Christmas in the village will be December 7th. There was something else for
Halloween.
Halloween will be October 26th. Now I'm talking, I thought wrong days. October 26th, and we were discussing from 5:30 until 7. And we have that later.
Does that give you enough time to get your candy?
Yes.
Okay.
On your receipt cups.
So if you guys would like to vote on when we're going to do Halloween, we'd like you, a roll call vote for that as well, so that way we can get it on everyone's calendars.
A motion to have trick or treat in the village would be October 26th, which is a Saturday, 5:30 to 7.
Second.
Wheeler,
Yep.
Fisher,
Yes.
Cheney,
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
And then WL is hosting a back-to-school frog hunt, so Saturday, from 9 until noon, you find a frog, you take it to Harmon's Pallet Treasure, and you'll get some school supplies. They're also sponsoring a community cleanup for September 7th, from 9 until noon, or until the dumpsters are full. Community revitalization, Brittany's not here, we didn't really talk about revitalization. We already did finance, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took care of all that. Jason's not here for ordinance, park board.
Park board, we are going to be looking at getting some pricing for metal roof for the Rotary shelter that's in the park. That's it.
Local planning commission, again, Jason isn't here. County planning commission, they haven't had one. So
Should be one next week.
We're just hopeful that it gets to go to one next week. Public safety.
Tammy pretty much covered it, but this new blinking stop signs are up at Kirk and Main. Thank you to the Shockland Foundation for that. And the pedestrian crossing signs went up today on Plainfield Road and Kirk Street.
All right, public works.
What did we talk about? We talked about the PVC line and maintenance and all that good stuff, contracts. What else? Remind me, I didn't write it down.
That was the majority of it.
That was the majority of it.
I'm gonna
And that
need
was
your
before you
minutes
got
to write
here.
it down.
What's that?
I'm gonna need your minutes. So-
Why don't you write it down for me?
Really?
We also talked a little bit about sewer rates, but we don't have the data to actually analyze it, so we were going to talk about that more next week.
That's it.
All right. Records retention.
Yes, we did have a records retention meeting this evening, and I presented changes to the retention schedule, the RC2 form. Made some suggestions on items that we wanted to remove, mainly pertaining to the billing. We no longer do billing for water and sewer, so there's no reason to keep that on the schedule. We've already disposed of all the records that we have for billing within the allotted time, so we're going to remove that. And also presented a list of items for approval to destroy, again, that fall within the retention schedule. So we got all that signed off on today. That's it.
Okay, rules. No, we haven't had any. All right, so the introduction of ordinances and resolution, 2024-27, an ordinance to vacate an alley presented by Michael O. and Christy Timmons and Brittany Howe. This is the third reading.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2024-27.
Second.
Bauer,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yep.
Cheney,
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-31, a resolution to amend the 2024 Permanent Appropriations Ordinance 2023-57, adding funds. This is the first reading and an emergency. But the emergency is,
yeah, we can't do anything, we don't have a form to pass that tonight.
so we'll pick that up in 2 weeks. 2024-33, a resolution
Here's my
to approve the
notes.
purchase order 24339 to activate 911 Inc. A then and now purchase order. This is a first reading and emergency. 2024-34, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. This is first reading and emergency. All right. So we voted on trick or treat. All right. We are going to go into executive session.
Can we go ahead and defer the bills?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the bills.
Second. Sorry, he's not here. I didn't think about it.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
Fisher.
Yes.
Cheney.
Yes.
Mauer.
Yes.
And then for the executive session, everybody on council, Tammy, Amy, and Chief, if you could stay. Everyone else, thank you for coming. We will talk to you soon.
I need
Do
a
we need
motion
a
to go into
motion to go
And
into
what-
executive?
And what's the topic that we're discussing?
Motion to go into
We're talking
executive
about
session for personnel.
You expect any action?
No.
Yes, second.
Bye.
Second.
Cheney.
Yes.
Mauer.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Wheeler.
We will not resume the broadcast after this, so thank you all for tuning in.